friends, welcome back to Storytime. This week we're celebrating libraries because it's National Library Week. Libraries help us find books, listen to stories, learn and play together, and much, much more. But first, let's sing our hello song to get started with our story time. It goes like this. Hello, friends. It's time to say hello. Sing along with me, okay? Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. It's time to say hello. Hi, everybody. Now that we sang our hello song, we're going to read our first book called Froggy Goes to the Library by Jonathan London. Froggy, here he is, and he's going to the library. It looks like he already has a lot of books. It was Saturday morning, and Froggy stayed in bed to read his favorite book. It was about Super Frog. Froggy, called his mom. What? It's time to get up, dear. We're going to the library. Yippee! Cried Froggy, and he hopped out of bed and flopped into the kitchen. Flop, flop, flop. Let's go, said Froggy, and he started flopping out the door. Flop, flop, flop. First, said Mom, you have to get dressed. I know that, said Froggy. And he flopped back to his room and got dressed. Zip, zoop, zup, zut, zut, zut. Then he flopped back, flop, 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 and said, let's go. I want to get books and Super Frog and T-Rex. But first, eat your breakfast, dear. Yum, said Froggy. Home flies and ketchup. Munch, crunch, munch. Then Froggy raced out the door. Froggy, called Mom. What? Don't forget your book bag, dear, so you can carry home lots of books. I'd better take the wheelbarrow, cried Froggy. I'm getting tons of books. And off to the library they went. Squeak, squeak, squeak. In no time at all, Froggy had a stack of books so high that he couldn't see over the top. So he tripped over Polly, oops, and fell smack on his face, splat, and spilled all his books. And that's when he saw Froggelina. Hi, Froggy. Hee hee. Want some help picking up your books? I can do it myself, shouted Froggy. Please use your indoor voice, dear, said the librarian, Mrs. Otterbottom. First, Froggy read a book about Super Frog. He wasn't very good at reading, but he was very good at looking at pictures. When he got to the part about Super Frog flying high and fast after the bad guys, he stood on the table and spread his arms like wings. Please sit down, dear, said Mrs. Otterbottom. It's not polite to stand on the table. Oops, said Froggy. Then he picked out lots of books about dinosaurs, especially his favorite, T-Rex. Roar, cried Froggy, holding his arms like claws. Roar. Froggy, called Mrs. Otterbottom. What? This is a library, dear, not dinosaur park. Oops, said Froggy. Sorry. Then Miss Otterbottom announced, story time, come gather round, children. Me, cried Pollywallina. Story time is for babies, said Froggy. But little by little, the book that Mrs. Otterbottom was reading got all of his attention. What a great story, thought Froggy, and he wanted to know what happened next. So he scooted closer and closer. This is how we sit during story time. Usually, we sit in a circle and listen to a story. And when she started doing rhymes and songs, he got so excited that he leapfrogged over Froggelina, he leapfrogged over his mother, and he leapfrogged over Polly. Right smack beside Miss Otterbottom, and started singing, wiggle, wiggle, waggle, waggle, giggle, giggle, waggle, gaggle. And the kids all laughed like crazy, and Froggy kept singing and dancing. Until suddenly it grew quiet, so quiet you could hear a fly burp. Froggy took one look at Miss Otterbottom and, uh-oh, He knew he was in trouble. Oops, cried Froggy, looking more red in the face than green. Miss Otterbottom stared at him hard, then smiled and joined in, and so did everybody else. Wiggle, wiggle, waggle, waggle, giggle, giggle, gaggle, gaggle, until story time was over. Story time's lots of fun. We don't just read books, we also dance, we sing, we do rhymes, and lots of fun stuff. Thanks for being so energetic, Froggy, said Miss Otterbottom, and she handed him the book she had been reading aloud and said, I'm glad to know that Froggy loves books. Come again soon. Thanks, cried Froggy. Books are the best, and he put it on the top of his pile to check it out. Then he rolled his wheelbarrow full of books with Polly on top singing, wiggle, wiggle, waggle, waggle, giggle, giggle, gaggle, gaggle, all the way home. Squeak, squeak, squeak. The end. That was Froggy Goes to the Library. He went to the library, he checked out lots of books, enough to fill a wheelbarrow, and he also enjoyed story time. Lots of things we can do at the library. Now that we have read our first book, we're going to read a song called It's Library Day. Let's see what else we do at the library. It's library day, it's library day. We're excited to get to play, it's library day. Story time is here, story time is here. Friends will watch from far and near, story time is here. We sing in story time, we sing in story time. We read our books and sing a rhyme, we sing in story time. We're checking out a book, we're checking out a book. I looked and looked and looked and now we're checking out a book. I'm reading with a friend, I'm reading with a friend. I wish it never had to end, I'm reading with a friend. What else do we do? Story time, we look and look for books, we sing, we rhyme, and we read with our friends. Now we have another book called The Book Hog. This little piggy loves to go to the library. Let's see what he's doing today. The Book Hog loved books. This book is by Greg Pizzoli. He loves books. Look at all those books that he's reading. Or is he? And he had quite a few. They fill up the whole room. He loved the way they smelled, sniff, and the way the pages felt in his hooves. He especially liked the ones with pictures, like this one. He picked them up here and there, anywhere he could find them. But the book hog had a secret. Shh, a big secret. He didn't know how to read. He had never learned. He was surrounded by books, but the book hog couldn't read a single one. The book hog went to bed every night without a bedtime story. How sad. One morning, he went out looking for more books. He came to a long, low building and he smelled some books inside. He snuck through the stacks, adding several books to his pile. But then a soft voice said, "Would you like to join us for story time?" It was Miss Olive, the librarian. "Pick out a book and I'll read it with you." The book hog blinked, then he swallowed. "You'll read a book with me?" "Of course," said Miss Olive, "as many as you'd like." This gave the book hog an idea. "Wait here," he said. And he came back with some books, with lots and lots of books for the librarian to read. Miss Olive led story time, and the book hog listened closely. He heard many stories, some funny, some sad, some kind of in between. Over time, and with patience and practice, the book hog learned to read on his own. He grew to love books even more, not just for the way they looked and felt, but for the stories they had. And yes, the book hog still takes a lot of books, but he always brings them back to the library. And here's the librarian. The end. That was the book hog. He learned how to read and love books even more than he already did. Now we have another song, and this one is called The More We Get Together and the More We Read Together. And for the first part, we're going to make a circle like this with our arms, like you're stirring a big, big pot. Let's read together and let's sing together and move along with me, okay? The more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. The more we read together, 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 the more we read together, the happier we'll be. Read big books and small books, read short books and tall books. The more we read together, 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 the more we read together, the happier we'll be. Let's start at the beginning. The more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. Get your book ready. The more we read together, 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 the more we read together, the happier we'll be. Read big books and small books, read short books and tall books. The more we read together, the happier we'll be. That was the more we read and the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause my friends are your friends and your friends are my friends. And now we have some counting. We're going to count books. 6 little books at the library. 6 little books at the library. 6 little books as great as can be. Along comes a friend to take one home and read. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 little books at the library. 5 little books as great as can be. Along comes a friend with their library card to take one home and read. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 little books at the library. 4 little books as great as can be. Along comes a friend to take one home and read with their library card. Now we have 1, 2, 3. 3 little books at the library. 3 little books as great as can be. Along comes a friend like you with their library card to take one home and read. Now we have 1, 2. 2 little books great as can be. Along comes a friend with their library card to take one home and read. How many books do we have left? Just 1. But don't worry, we're not going to run out of books. The library always has new books for you to read. 1 little book at the library, 1 little book as great as can be. Along comes a friend with their library card and takes it home to read. No more library books for now, because we always have more to read. That was our last song of the day. So now we're going to sing our goodbye song, and I'll see you next week for more. Sing along with me, okay? Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. It's time to say goodbye. Bye-bye, friends. I'll see you next week.